the intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Star Trek League of Man fans, whenever you're watching this update video. Today, we're going to take a look at the new patch, Wrath of Khan Part 2, the wrap-up. And yeah, we'll have feelings on that throughout the week and throughout the month. But I want to go through a lot in here. It's not a huge content month, but there have been a lot of updates that you're going to want to pay attention to. So we'll go through all those things. Here are the features list. We got new missions, the USS Reliant, which we've talked about a little bit already. Check that video out if you haven't. It'll be pinned at the end of this one. New Augment faction favors, quality of life updates, new officers, new refit, which is for the Reliant. It's that hijack skin I've been telling you about. New chaos tech, and I'm honestly indifferent to whether these matter or not, but we'll talk about it. New projectile, and of course, new battle pass. So let's start with the quality of life updates. Independent archives, you've got the Franklin and the Franklin-A being added. And by chance, if you're watching this before the arc actually rolls out, remember, don't claim these in case there's an SMS, but mastering both the Franklin and the Franklin-A. Now, cost is actually a little bit high here in terms of how much it's going to take to do this. So if you've got 5,000 of those saved up, well, you'll be able to do the Franklin, but not afford the Franklin-A. They're a little pricey. It went up in terms of like how long it's going to take in terms of unlocking. We'll show you that here in a second. But yeah, both of them are there, which is good. And also, if you've been wondering how to finally source Jayla, good news. Jayla's now sourced in this. So yay, fun, fun, fun. If you scrap a Franklin between tier 1 and 8, you will be able to claim the pillars up to and including the tier corresponding to the tier at which you scrapped your Franklin. If you scrapped at tier 9, you should be able to claim all the pillars. I love how they put should. Keyword there being should. Now, I checked this on my level 60 account, and it looked like it was already there and ready to go. It showed me as having it. So, unlike the divorce snafu where you couldn't do it, should be fine for players. Let me know if you have a problem with that in the comment section down below. If you've gone through it and there's an issue, we'll put in a bug report and we'll get that escalated for you. So, Augment Exile Hostile Loot Grade Expansion. Throughout the con, one of the more prevalent feedback was the common hijack splicers were not available, especially to G6 players who were hitting hostiles level 62 and above. In part 2, all hostiles now drop more of their rarity. I'm actually going to show you what that looks like. We're going to give you the math and the numbers. So here is my level 32 account. Now, do a little bit of grinding there. Mostly, honestly, what I end up doing is just grinding the actual traders instead of, the main ones. I'll go after the loot goblins. We'll talk about a couple different things that have changed here. Number uno. It's uno right there. That's all I want to show you. The old hostile loot numbers and the new ones. As you can see, it has gone up, right? More is more. We like that. More is more. So what we're seeing is the rep has stayed the same, but you'll notice on the old table, we peaked at 40, which is still the case for the older loot. But as you can see, it lasts and sustains into the G6 areas of this. You see the epics keeping its curve. But if you're also looking at it from the rares maintain a little bit better, uncommons maintain a little better. So you're actually getting more payouts for hitting the upper ones versus what it was before. This is an improvement, and I'm very grateful for that improvement because it was really stupid to just everybody has to go grind 40s. Now there's actually more reason to work your way down the path. There is still an efficiency of like 40 is the best, but now you're not everybody having to be in that one system, which I think is improved. Another big quality of life is going to be the hijack D7 identifier. Now, I'm not big on that because actually you saw on the screen there wasn't really much of a change, right? Because I'm sitting next to one. You might have noticed that. It's actually only if you're zoomed in, you'll notice a little red skull next to it, which is an improvement, but only really matters if you're zoomed in. So, make sure you're hitting the right D class. You can hit the D3s, don't hit the D7s unless you're doing it with the Reliant. So back over here, hanger slots, 11 more, which is actually nice. We've increased hanger slots by additional 11 as opposed to 1, plus all levels will see this change. Another good one. Again, players have been asking for more hanger slots for a long time and more docks. Well, there's number one. We got more hanger slots now, making it to where it's far easier for you as a player to fit more ships. I'm currently sitting on level 60, 104, I think, hanger slots. So more is more. We like that. Improve UI elements for our newer players. I know it shocks a lot of people every time that I bring this up, but there are actually more players in the lower ends of the game than there are on the high ends of the game. The largest portion of players currently sitting in G4, but new servers are rolling out every year with tens of thousands of new players. So having that improved, I think, is good. There's been a lot of things I've been doing for sub 20. Could argue that sub 20 has been getting the best content in the past few months, but there's been some good anyway. Anyway, there's some known issues on launch. So as you would expect, there are new missions. These are starting off at 38 plus and 40 plus, which is a little bit odd for me because the ship is 26 plus. But that is what it is. There's your storyline. If y'all enjoy the story content, there have been some good stories recently. I know we were talking about this on the stream that people really enjoyed the Year of Hell, not the arc, but the storylines, the Chaotica storyline was really good. So sometimes you can find a good, even if there's a bad. If you enjoy the stories, that's what we got this month. We went over the Reliant in its own video, so I don't want to do too much with it. It will be available free to play day one. In fact, you should already see it in your faction store. If you haven't already looked, go ahead and give it a peek. I'll actually put this on the screen so that you can see it in my level 32 account. And again, it's there. Whether you choose to buy it now, free to play it, is completely up to you. Who am I to tell you what to do with your money? But fade it on over. As you can see, it's right there at the top of the screen. USS Reliant with its mega claim right next to it with a 100,000 cost. So it is there. There's the loop. Check out its video for understanding how it works, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Honestly, you auto grind, do your idle farming, and collect your rewards and your goodies. So again, we've gone over all this already. So if you haven't checked it out, go check that out. New faction favors, lots of things added to the faction store, really rounding out the Augment store, making it fully fleshed out. We have the increased retaliation crew, efficiency. We have Symbiosis crew, Galaxy Mirror, NX01, etc. Now, for those that don't know how efficiencies work in STFC, because it can legitimately be annoying and tough. I didn't mean to click that button. It can be annoying and tough to get efficiencies. How does that work exactly? Well, we're going to show you and go over that. Short answer is it's going to lower the cost. Remember, it's an efficiency formula, so it is not an exact thing. So it's not going to be like a down to zero. But what it ends up doing is allowing you to realistically have a better experience. And here, let's just talk numbers. And let's go grab this on the screen. 1 second. I'm just going to have this here. I'm going to edit it right in. Bam, we've got this in the spreadsheet already. This is our Augment spreadsheet. If you haven't checked it out, I'll put it in the comments. But as you can see here, 0% efficiency versus 5%, just showing you what that looks like and how that's going to lower the total cost. And as you can see, it can lower quite a bit. Again, that's just a lower number. So efficiency is never going to take you down to zero. But when it comes to something like officers, especially epics, that can save you a lot. And there is, of course, a calculator. You can determine what exactly you're going to end up getting and end up costing. Another little nice addition here for y'all. So again, this is something that's going to be available here in the Augment faction store, and you can go ahead and start grinding towards it if you feel like it is valuable to you. It is valuable to me because anything that helps me have less is more. Yeah, I know it's fun. Anyway, advanced drafting, gain additional chest pull when claiming priority one ship BPs from the away team store. That one is down the road valuable, not super valuable early on. The Hyperglacia is going to critical hit damage, cannot be reduced, so it's a critical hit floor. And again, I think that's a good one. Then you have Hypoglacia, which is reducing critical hit of the opponent, but not in station defense. So you have a floor for yourself and lowering their critical values. Then you have another hull health booster, another shield health booster, a warp range booster for the Reliant itself, and then last but not least, Augment faction store, so you can get Augment Exile super highways just to cut down on those warp times. 2 new officers. I do want to point out there's some interesting things towards the end of the month that you want to pay attention to that are not included in this article. So this isn't it, everybody, but all loot gain from all armadas up 125% is his officer ability, and his below deck ability is reduces enemy shield mitigation up to 40% versus non-armada hostiles. I'll be honest, I think I like Scotty more as a below decker than an above decker. Curious your thoughts. And then you have Rare Saavik. On combat start, increases ISO Cascade damage by 150% when in waves. That's honestly could be good. And then below decks, by the book, against non-armada hostiles, increase your isolated cascade damage by up to 70% for 1 round if the enemy has any state. I actually really like that. That actually is probably going to get added in as one of my main below deckers on my main crew, because again, I'm doing hull breach, I'm making sure they're applied, and I'll take more isolated cascade damage. So that could be quite good. All right, additional content and Battle Pass. Well, we have the Reliant refit that I said is going to help with your Augment Wrath credits by a little bit, increasing the loot and the rep you gain. And yeah, there it is. You have this one, which I find very curious, the C12 Stasis Globe, which is helping you with hazard resistance, which is a G6 thing. If that's something that you want to do, I know one of the big recommendations we've had is going to level 63, building your uncommons to do the hazard research. Well, now they're offering items to maybe make that less important. Granted, keep in mind, it's a chaos tech, so put on your ship, have that hazard resistance. Maybe they're wanting people to ops up, get ready for G7 one day. Oh, who knows? But we also have the Omega molecule, increases Crenum temporal wreckage gain from the formation armadas when using the relativity up to 1,500%. Normally, I don't really care for that, but I mean, that's a healthy number. Then you have Apex barrier boosting against the invading entities up to 16,000. And then, of course, armadas and players by 200%. So, interesting one right there. I do want to point out it's a chaos tag, so not that hard to upgrade. That one's actually interesting. Then we have the SETI Eel, which y'all remember from Wrath of Khan. I hate that and the Genesis device of Khan become throw-ins, but I guess it is what it is. Increases weapons damage versus group of solo armadas, and then a weapons damage against hostiles and armadas. So it's an armada buff. How much that's needed? I really don't know if that's needed by almost anybody in our community, but there you go. And then, of course, the Battle Pass, missions, building and ships. Here's your bug fixes. So there have been some good things added in this month, in my personal opinion. That does not mean it's perfect, but I do think there are some goody things. I'm very disappointed, though, and just I feel like Wrath of Khan is leaving a lot on the table. And I'll spend another time talking about this. This is a patch update video. But I just feel like there's a lot left on the table. But we'll let y'all decide when we grade it at the end of the month. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuce, that's me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helped you out. And if it did, like the video. See you on the next one. We're out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.